Nevada may be known for the bright lights of Las Vegas, but far from the neon glow, the vast desert hides darker secrets. And from this desert, dozens of ghost towns remain. Some sank, others burned, and some were slowly swallowed by time. Here are 15 ghost towns in Nevada, where history, tragedy, and mystery converge in one quiet landscape. Rhyolite could be considered the iconic ghost town of Nevada. Imagine, this town was born in 1905 thanks to the gold rush, exploding with thousands of people, luxury hotels, and even a 3-story bank. Truly a town that seemed promising. But that magic didn't last long. Once the gold mines started to dry up, people fled, and Rhyolite turned into a ghost town in just a few years. Now, what remains are the ruins, towering bank walls, an old jail, and a silent train depot. There's also the unique bottle house, made from thousands of glass bottles. So, are you ready to visit the most photogenic ghost town? While Rhyolite left behind the remnants of grand buildings in the desert, the story of St. Thomas is even more tragic. Imagine a town not dying because the mines ran dry, but because it was submerged. Founded in 1865, St. Thomas thrived thanks to the Virgin River. The people there had farms, stores, and a small church that served as the heart of the community. But everything ended when the Hoover Dam was built in 1938. The waters of Lake Mead slowly rose, swallowing house after house. The last residents reportedly left by boat after setting their homes on fire. For decades, the town slept beneath the water until a long drought exposed its bones once more. This gold mining town was once Nevada's bustling center. Imagine, in the early 1900s, Goldfield boomed with over 20,000 residents, complete with luxury hotels, casinos, and even a daily newspaper. But its glory days were short-lived. The gold mines began to deplete, and a massive fire in 1923 devastated the downtown area. Slowly, Goldfield shrank into a shadow of its former self. Today, fewer than 200 people remain. A few old bars, the still active county courthouse, and the massive, empty Goldfield Hotel that stands like a ghost of the past. From Goldfield, it's not far to Tonopah, a mining town that's half alive, half dead. Tonopah was founded in 1900 after a massive silver discovery, and it quickly became one of Nevada's wealthiest towns. But, as is often the case, the mining boom didn't last long. Once the ores ran dry, people began to leave. Today, Tonopah has around 1,600 residents, so it's not completely a ghost town, but the aura is still there. There's the historic Mizpah Hotel, which is said to be haunted, an open-air mining museum with original equipment, and rows of old buildings in the dusty town center. What makes it unique is that Tonopah has some of the darkest skies in America, making it perfect for stargazing. While Tonopah still breathes, Candelaria has completely faded into silence. Founded in the 1860s after a silver discovery, this town was once bustling with thousands of miners. Interestingly, Candelaria had a severe water shortage, so the ore was processed using steam engines powered by wood. an expensive process that led many to leave. By the 1890s, the mines began to decline, and the town was slowly abandoned. Today, Candelaria is nothing more than the remnants of stone walls and old chimneys standing in the barren desert of Esmeralda County. There are no permanent residents, only the desert winds that call this place home. This next ghost town is a bit different. It's still cared for with love. Founded in the late 1800s due to a silver mine, it saw some prosperity before fading as metal prices dropped. But instead of disappearing entirely, Gold Point has become a friendly ghost town. There are a few old wooden buildings still standing, including a saloon, miner cabins, and a post office. In fact, some residents have turned the place into a quirky bed and breakfast for tourists who want to experience a night in a ghost town. The population is tiny, fewer than 10 people, but the Old West atmosphere is still very much alive. This town isn't just any ordinary ghost town. It still shows clear traces of its past amid the silence of the Nevada desert. The most striking feature is the 1876 county courthouse, standing tall as if challenging time, accompanied by an old chimney and slowly crumbling adobe houses. Belmont once shined in the 1860s when silver was discovered, attracting thousands of people. It even became the county seat of Nye County, with saloons and shops lining the streets. But that glory faded quickly. Once the mines died, the people left. Today, Belmont is only inhabited by occasional vacation cabins and curious tourists. Berlin has a unique story because it blends with science. The town was founded in the late 1800s after gold was discovered, and at one point, it was home to about 250 people. But, like most mining towns in Nevada, its fate took a quick turn when the gold reserves ran out. The people left behind wooden barracks, workshops, and miner homes, which are now part of the Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park. But here's where Berlin stands out. In addition to the remnants of a mining town, fossils of the Ichthyosaurus, a giant marine reptile that lived millions of years ago, were discovered here. A mountain town with a dramatic history. Founded in 1868 after a major silver discovery, Hamilton quickly exploded into a town of thousands, complete with hotels, newspapers, and busy streets. In a short time, it became one of the wealthiest mining hubs in Nevada. But desert storms, massive fires, and rapidly declining mines caused Hamilton to collapse faster than expected. By the end of the 1870s, the town was abandoned, leaving behind brick ruins perched high in the White Pine Range. Today, Hamilton is completely silent. No permanent residents, just remnants of stone walls standing against the mountain winds. This ghost town gives off a different vibe, more personal, more village than a bustling mining town. Discovered in 1872 during the gold and silver rush that attracted thousands, Cherry Creek once boasted a saloon, a store, and even a simple hotel that served as the town's social hub. But as with most mining towns, the boom didn't last. Once the metals ran out, people packed up and left. What's left today? A row of old wooden houses, remnants of a bar, and crumbling ruins slowly being overtaken by time. Today, Cherry Creek is home to just a handful of people, maybe fewer than 20, making its atmosphere incredibly quiet and empty. Once known as the friendliest town on the loneliest road in America, Eureka was founded in the 1860s thanks to silver and tin mines, and it grew into the largest smelting center in Nevada. Back then, the town boasted thousands of residents, its own newspaper, a theater, and bustling streets. But as the mines faded, so did Eureka's population. The difference, however, is that Eureka didn't fully die. Today, around 240 people still live there. Historic buildings, such as the courthouse and opera house, are still well maintained and even used regularly. Pioche is known for its dark reputation. Founded in the early 1870s after silver was discovered, the town once housed thousands of miners, gamblers, and bandits. What sets Pioche apart is its title as one of the most brutal towns in Nevada. It's said that more than 70 people were killed before a single person died from disease or mining accidents. Just imagine how wild the atmosphere must have been. The streets were full of duels, robberies, and hangings on a hill behind the town. Today, Pioche still has around 1,100 residents, but its Wild West aura remains. Old buildings, mining trails, and even a hanging chair at the county jail stand as silent witnesses to its lawless past. Our journey veers toward the California border where Masonic stands. This town was born around 1900 when gold was discovered in the Bodie Hills. Its name is unique, as many of the early miners were Freemasons, hence the name Masonic. At its peak, the town boasted more than 1,000 residents, complete with a saloon, school, and 3 bustling mining districts. But, like so many other boom towns, its glory days were short-lived. Once the gold ran out in the 1920s, people packed up and left. Today, Masonic is completely silent. All that remains are stone foundations, the remnants of leaning wooden houses, and dusty mining trails. Its remote location only adds to the eerie atmosphere. A town with a big name, but an ironic fate. Founded in the early 1910s, Metropolis wasn't a mining town, but an ambitious real estate project by a company from Los Angeles that aimed to build a modern agricultural city in the heart of the Nevada desert. They built grand hotels, schools, churches, and even an irrigation system. But problems came quickly. Water rights were contested, locusts destroyed the crops, and a plague of rats added to the suffering. Within 2 decades, the dream of an ideal town collapsed. Today, all that remains are the ruins of a 3-story brick school, the archway of a hotel, and the foundations of buildings half swallowed by the earth. Metropolis stands as a bitter lesson that a big name doesn't guarantee a bright future. The town may be silent, but its story endures as an irony in the Nevada desert. Finally, we close our journey in Virginia City, a mining town that could be called a legend in Nevada. Born from the discovery of the Comstock lode in 1859, Virginia City quickly exploded into the largest silver mining center in America. At its peak, the town was home to more than 25,000 people, complete with theaters, newspapers, and bars that never closed. Mark Twain even worked here as a young journalist. But as the mines began to weaken, the population dwindled. The difference, however, is that Virginia City didn't completely die. Today, there are around 916 permanent residents, but the town lives on as a tourist destination. Its historic buildings are well preserved, the streets are still lined with wooden planks, and the Wild West vibe is palpable. So, Virginia City is a ghost town that refuses to disappear, half museum, half living town.